Here's one way you can save time by emailing your supplier bills, supplier invoices into Xero. So I've created a dummy invoice here for a taxi. So this is a taxi to the airport. We were going on a business trip. I've just created a dummy invoice to demonstrate this to you. And the taxi company have emailed this invoice to me. So what I'm going to do now is forward that invoice straight into Xero. So the first thing we need to do is find our Xero email in account. And in the demo company, we can find this. You'd have exactly the same, you would go to exactly the same place in your own Xero company to find this email in address. So you'd go to the business menu, click on bills to pay. And then over on the right-hand side, you've got automate bill entry. If you click on that, you've then got this email bills to Xero email address. So this is completely unique to your own Xero account. Every Xero account has a unique email address. So if we just copy that email address, if I go back to my email, I can now paste that into there. And what you can do is save that email address in one of your contacts and call it your Xero inbox, something that means something to you. And then you're just going to forward that email in. So it doesn't matter if there's any wording on here. You know, it might have said, "Hi Claire, here's the invoice for your taxi. Hope you had a good trip." Doesn't matter, as long as there's an invoice attachment. Now, it works best with a PDF file. As long as you email that into Xero, this is going to work. If there's other attachments here, maybe they have some contracts of services, some T's and C's, you can delete those off before you email them in. If you don't, you'll just get that document in Xero as well. So you would then have to go in and delete it from Xero. So sometimes it's better to only email in the one document you want. So we just press send, we'll email that in. And we'll give it a few minutes to find its way into Xero. So at the moment we can see we've got 15 awaiting payment and not much else going on. So if I just do F5, which refreshes the screen, still only 15 waiting payment, so it hasn't made its way into Xero yet. I'll do another F5. There we go, it's now in drafts. So in reality, what you want to be doing is every time you get an invoice into your inbox from a supplier, just forward it to Xero and forget about it. So at the end of the day, you're clearing out your inbox, forward it into Xero, forward all your invoices into Xero and forget about it. And then when you log into Xero next, they're all going to be sitting in drafts here, waiting for you. So let's go and have a look at this invoice that's been emailed in. I'll just move my picture out the way. Okay, so it's brought in my logo. So remember I said it will bring in other things off of your email if you don't delete them. So it's brought my photo in. It's brought a blank background in. But previewing document, page 1 of 4, see down the bottom, there's the actual invoice. So what you can do is type in the company name. So this was from Capital Cabco. The date of the invoice was the 17th of August and it's due on receipt. So I'm going to put +0, so that means it's due straight away. Xero's AI technology has already picked up the invoice number, INV 1188, and it's already picked up the amount, 385 and 385. Now, what you can do here, because we have used Capital Cabco in the past, underneath their name, you can see a little blue line that says Add Last Items. If I hover over it, you can see it says Add Items from the supplier's last bill. So this is a handy tip. If you're using the same suppliers a lot and you're always buying the same thing from them, i.e. in this case, a taxi, if you click Add Last Items, it's going to remember what the last item was you bought. So it's created a line underneath where you coded it to and whether it had any VAT on it. If you're happy that this invoice is for the same service, If you just delete that top one, and then you can change the amount here to 385. And there actually is no VAT on this invoice, so we'll call Xero rated. But everything else was there for you. You don't have to type in taxi again, and you don't have to remember which account code you coded it to. So this is a real good hack, a great way of saving time, and it means that you're posting the same cost to the same account code here. You really want to try and be consistent with where you're posting things. So if you're posting taxi services to travel 1 month, and then the next month you post taxi services to somewhere else in your chart of account, so say you've got a business trip cost, a business trip account, and you post it there, you're not going to be able to look at your profit and loss account and see how much you've actually spent on travel, because sometimes you coded it to travel and the next time you coded it to business trip costs. So this is a great way of saving time and getting the account code the same. But if you didn't want to do that, you can just delete that out. You can just type in here, taxi services, quantity 1, 385. Where do I want to code it to? Well, I was travelling. I was actually doing some international travel because I'm flying abroad. So I would code it there, and it's Xero rated expenses because this particular taxi company is not that registered. And I'm not going to put a region in because I'm not categorising my transactions into regions. And then you just simply click approve. So it's a great time-saving hack. Email your supplier bills directly into Xero. And then when they're in Xero, if it's a supplier you use a lot, look for that add last item under their name when you're entering the bills, and it'll add the last one. And all you've got to do is change the amount, quick sense check to make sure everything looks good, and you're ready to post your supplier bill.